Hello everyone! Previously on our TikTok account, we talked about the contributions of the wind to the total Philippine renewable energy resource targets, energy demand, and supply. After stating the current energy status and the vision of the project, we will now move on to an implementation advancement. Before we discuss about windmills situated in land or the terrestrial windmills, including those that are in the shorelines or the onshore windmills. Now, we will be dealing with offshore wind energy.
The world is changing, and the total energy demand is continuously increasing. In solving the energy trilemma on the security, equity, and sustainability, nations are shifting to a wide variety of renewable energy sources. One of the fastest growing energy solutions for coastal and island countries is offshore wind farm. These windmills are made up of turbines that harness the energy of the ocean winds, converting it into electricity and then sending it back to the shore to be used alongside power from other renewable and conventional sources. As of now, the countries like the United Kingdom, China, and Germany account for more than 75% of the world's wind farm capacity. Wind power has been in use for more than centuries, with the first wind farm going online since the 1980s. Currently, the largest wind farm project in the world is located 180 miles east of the coast of Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. Talking about our own, the Philippines intend to invest in offshore wind energy with target operation in the next set of years. Although the percentage contribution of the wind to the total renewable energy capacity is low compared to its counterparts, it is still massive that it can still power a huge chunk of residential energy demands. Since offshore wind blows at higher and constant speeds than those we experience on shorelines and on lands, it is just reasonable that they have the potential to produce more energy than their terrestrial counterparts. According to Philippine Offshore Wind Energy Roadmap, there are two development scenarios. One is the low-growth scenario, wherein offshore wind will supply over 2% of the country's electricity needs by 2040 or about 3 gigawatts of installed capacity. The second one is the high-growth scenario, giving more than 6 times as much offshore installation, supplying 14% of our needs by 2040, reaching 20 gigawatts of installed capacity. The proposed offshore wind development zones include Northwest Luzon that can be extended to Apari, Manila area and Bataan, Northern and Southern Mindoro, Guimaras Strait, and Negros and Panay West area. The Philippines is on track as we have set clear vision as of 2022. This is both for 2030 to 2040 target, 2050 general vision, and main transmission network vision. Up to next year, framework evolution includes Marine Spatial Plan, offshore with development zones, leasing and permitting, auction arrangements, capacity building, and the creation of Government Industry Task Force. First stage development and project installation is expected on the first 5 to 6 years. Included in the 2025 to 2035 timeline is the long-term infrastructure including port and transmission, supply chain, and pipeline of offshore wind projects. Here's an overview of the existing and planned several hundred kilovolts of transmission network in the 40 gigawatt offshore wind high-growth scenario. The offshore wind project has its benefits. Once installed, we will not be reliant on imported fuels, thus increasing energy security. It is lower than the rising cost of traditional fossil fuels. It is clean and sustainable since it is low in carbon emission, air pollution, and water and land use. It is also large-scale that can be constructed quickly than traditional power stations. This project also has its challenges. Number 1 is variability, as wind doesn't blow as hard all the time. Number 2, it is highly dependent on technology development overseas. It is also a young industry that introduces risks and opportunities that must be managed. It requires government commitment. It needs to be more carefully studied as it has impacts on key biodiversity areas, natural habitats, sensitive marine species, aviation, fishing grounds, aquaculture, and other area considerations. There's truly a lot to consider that is way behind what we know now. It is important that the stakeholders and decision makers should be open to all of these factors, as this project will affect our future. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to share your thoughts.